Hello, everyone. My name is Benjamin Moore, and I am a co-founder here at the Church of the Sacred Synthesis. On today's conclave, we're going to be discussing 5-MeO-DMT and some information surrounding that specific compound. And thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so lucky to be coming to you from the beautiful mountains of Colorado, where I am facilitating a healing retreat for 26 brave souls to come through and work with different compounds, one of which being 5-MeO-DMT by way of the light wand, and also a deeper dive with Bufo Alvarius exudate. So with that being said, today's conversation is going to be around 5-MeO-DMT, and specifically around how it's where it's found in nature, its historical use, some of the pharmacological effects on the body, and ways in which we work with it here at the church to elucidate transformation and shifts in consciousness. So thanks again for tuning in. I just want to bring in to remind you quickly that we have a ceremony coming up on Sunday, October 5th. That will be live streamed, so you can tune in to that via our calendar or on our website. And alternately, you can register at low-5.com/Jaguar. And it's going to be a great experience where we gather together, do a little breath work and movement, and then spend some time in ceremony working with the 5-MeO-DMT light wands and the Unity Mist. So definitely stay tuned or tune in to that. It's going to be a really great one, and it also rounds out our 30-day protocol. So yeah, thanks again for tuning in, and here we go. Off we go. So 5-MeO-DMT. What is 5-MeO-DMT? 5-MeO-DMT is a tryptamine analog, a serotonin analog in the tryptamine family. So it's endogenous into the body. Our lungs produce it. It's produced in our pineal gland, and we're thought to experience a DMT and 5-MeO-DMT dump when we're born and when we die. So there's these let's say, like, innate experiences that come through using this substance, and then alternately we can access this outside of ourselves by finding these things in nature. So 5-MeO-DMT is also known as O-methylbufotenine or mebufotenine in scientific literature. I don't really use that terminology, nor have I used it in conversation or heard others use it in conversation, but in the literature I have found that as nomenclature, so just take that for what it is. And so it can be found in nature in the Colorado River toad, aka the Bufo Alvarius toad, also in the chalipunga, which is a tree indigenous to South America, and in its root bark it has a combination of DMT, 5-MeO-DMT, and other minor alkaloids. And then also in the yopo seeds, those seeds are typically ground into a powder and then insufflated as a snuff. And also they have a combination of DMT and 5-MeO-DMT. And then also in some grasses like phalaris grass and some other plants that maybe have yet to be discovered. So go out there and hunt them down and find out where this beautiful compound's coming from. And then, so let's see. We don't have any known historical use of this except back in the 80s. So before that, in 1930, let's see, I'll give you some real information. So 1935, it was first synthesized by Toshio Hoshino, and they first reported hallucinogenic effects in the 70s, but there's not any deeper information. There was no studies, there was no information, no journals, nothing published about it beyond that. And then in the 80s, a veteran, an Army veteran who had the audacity to go out to the desert to find the Bufo Alvarius toad after reading about the different toad genuses in some literature, discovered that this toad had 5-MeO-DMT in it. So he ventured out into the desert, in the Sonoran Desert, and found these toads and milked them, and then vaporized it, and had transcendent experience. And so he decided to pen a pamphlet that was later republished under the name of Albert Most. And so some of you may have seen or read this pamphlet. Hamilton Morris republished it as a fundraiser. And so Albert Most is Ken Nelson. So yeah, it is a compound that can elucidate, like a non-dual experience, an experience that transcends the ego. It blurs and then perhaps dissolves the boundaries between the self and the other. So the observer, the observed, it all becomes one. It can be very useful for usurping the ego and the suffering attached to the ego and the stories that often the ego projects as real, as this is part of us, part of who we are. And so today in modern times, this compound is being researched for a myriad of benefits, specifically to help people overcome their traumas and overcome their physical somatic suffering. And what I could say to that is that when we are born in life, we are born as a pure, unadulterated, expansive soul. And as we begin to experience life, stories, and other effects start to impact ourselves, start to impact our life, and impact how we are experiencing the world and decisions we make. And so they will manifest into our lives as like smudges on the lens, or tension in the body that prevents us from doing certain things or reacting to certain things. And this can manifest as hypervigilance or paranoia or other effects, and which restrict and limit how we can interact with the world. And so 5-MeO-DMT is a very powerful somatic, reprocessor, digester. It helps us cut away these somatic cords and allows the spirit once again to expand into what is possible, which is boundless, right? Boundless possibilities here in life. Just really got to find what feels good to us. And so with that being said, I'll talk a little about the subjective effects. Well, we talked a little about the subjective effects. I'll talk a little about I'm out in nature and there's sounds. We'll talk a little about the effects within the body. So the classical psychedelics like mushrooms, DMT, LSD, they effectuate stimulation in the sensory experience. So your sight, your hearing, your touch, your taste, all these experiences are altered by those compounds. Whereas 5-MeO-DMT affects the changes or shifts in your parasympathetic nervous system, the subconscious processing. So typically this is associated with moving through emotions, a somatic response, somatic meaning how the body experiences feeling, and how we experience our emotions physically. And so it can elucidate the shifts in that perspective. Also helps us to connect with, we'll say, like unity consciousness, a consciousness beyond our ego, our shape, our size, our relationship with life, with the world. Sometimes people can say that it's a void experience, meaning it's nothingness, but in contrast to, let's say, other dissociative psychedelics, the void experience within 5-MeO-DMT is said to be like white or pure, or like illuminating. So it's a little bit of a, say, maybe void, but more unity void, if that's even a possibility. But I would say I liken it to unity consciousness and a connection to source, connection to this bliss that is creation. So And going back in a little to the receptors, so we talked a little about it is an affinity for the serotonin 1A receptor. It has 1,000 times greater affinity for that receptor over the serotonin 2A. Now, that doesn't mean it doesn't effectuate stimulation in that receptor. It just means that until the serotonin 1A receptor is saturated, essentially, it's not going to go into the other receptor site. Now, when it does, you will have some hallucinatory effects. But typically, they're reported as like a chandelier, uniform, and symmetrical. Maybe sometimes like a crystalline glass overlay over reality. And so, I sort of touched in a little on the history and the cultural context. Again, this is like such a beautiful opportunity because within the context of a lot of other psychedelic substances, let's say plant medicines or sacraments, there's a historical context, a cultural connotation around how in which these should be brought forward, how they should be used, and certain, like say Icaros around ayahuasca that are sung traditionally. And with this medicine, there's no lineage attached. Again, it was discovered and first vaporized in the 80s. Before that, there's no known historical use. So it's such a beautiful opportunity to create a brand new dogma-free approach to nature, approach to ourselves, which I would say are nature. We are nature. So let's just always be reminded of that fact. And so there's two different approaches to bringing this compound forward to humans. It's like nature obviously delivers it in a natural medium through plants and animals, but also it can be synthesized in a laboratory. And the synthesis process is something that I won't speak on, but it is what it is. It can create some just like anything in the lab. There's always it's give and take, right? It's just like anything. Anything that's created, it leaves a byproduct behind, and so there is some chemical processing that happens, and so we're exploring different ways in which to recycle these reagents. And right now, as far as I know, it's very limited in that technology. So take that for what it is. And then, today there is much research going on involving 5-MeO-DMT, and because it works in the serotonin 1A receptor, which is the same receptor site like SSRI, so it has mild SSRI-like effects, but it's a very short duration. So the duration of effects with 5-MeO-DMT are typically 10 to 20 minutes of being in the peak experience, and then being in that afterglow for maybe up to 30 minutes. And some people stay in it a little longer, and that's typically because they have not experienced this level of relaxation and bliss and ability to just let go of their thinking mind, their experiencing mind. So they're just laying in shavasana and experiencing nothingness, what a beautiful place to be in periods of time in your life when you're able to just let it all go, cut all the cords. So the effects are in that way. Now that length of time is when it's vaporized. Now when it's insufflated, the effects can be elongated quite significantly. So with the Unity mist, or even with insufflating the pure 5-MeO powder, the effects take a little longer for onset, maybe like 5 minutes to 10 minutes to get to peak experience. And those effects can last between 60 and 90 minutes. Some people have reported the lingering effects or the afterglow period lasting up to 2 hours. So it definitely elongates that effect. Another medium of use is what we classically call boofing, or using a suppository. I would not recommend this method unless you're very experienced and know what you're doing. There's a chance of it can be dangerous if you use too much, just like anything. And the membranes in this region of your body are very sensitive. Another approach that is being used in the medical setting is injectable, so intramuscular. I can't really comment on that outside that they're doing research with it, and it seems to be promising. And so there's always, of course, like with anything, there's always risks. So with 5-MeO-DMT and a very deep transcendental state, it can separate the conscious from the subconscious mind, and allowing the conscious mind to sort of go on its own little vacation, and the subconscious takes over. And oftentimes the subconscious mind can manifest things that need to be moved. So it's like somatic reprocessing. And so I've had individuals that I've worked with that have gotten up, run around, yelled, pointed, taken off all their clothes, like just done a myriad of things physically, because these are habits or behaviors in their body that they need to reprocess and move through. But if you do these things alone, these things can come forward, and without someone there to keep you safe, nobody knows what could happen. It could be a risk. So just keep that in mind if you're thinking about working with 5-MeO-DMT in a transcendental or a deeper state, to have someone there with you, or work with a facilitator directly that can help you and help guide and keep your body safe while you're on this experience. Now, that moves me into ways in which the church, that we offer 5-MeO-DMT primarily, and we do offer both paths. So with our sacraments, with the light wands and with the unity mist, we offer this as a low dose approach. It's not really microdosing, but I would say more it's like meditative doses. So light enough to stay present in the body, stay present in the physical space, but enough to allow consciousness to begin to feel this lightness, this connection to the all. And when I say awe, it's AWE, it's like the awe of everything. It's the creation, creator, God, source. However whatever linguistics you use to identify that, it's the connection to everything. So with these lower doses, we can elucidate change in behavior and change in emotions through time, slowly. And I've learned along the path that oftentimes a deep dive, while amazing and transcendental and like breaking through, it offers this like blast off experience, but it can create so much information, so much flow, that it's difficult to fully integrate all the lessons, all the wisdom that comes through. And so that approach requires very intentional, very significant integration and coaching and guidance. Whereas the low dose approach allows you to be in a state of constant change and constant and slow change, intentional change. So as I'm saying that, what's coming to mind is just to remind you that we do offer both experiences. So as a sacrament for your own use, we offer the light wands and the unity mist through our church, and offer guided ceremonies for you to tune in with us and drop in and flow. And right now we're about to close our 30-day protocol, which enables people to create some change and create some accountability around how these changes are being integrated into their life. And then also we offer deep dive experiences, one-like ceremonies planned and curated for your intention, things that you're looking for specifically and individually. So I just wanted to, I'm really happy to share all that information with you. And let's see if there's anything else I want to share. Just to remind everyone, 5-MeO-DMT is potent, short-acting psychedelic that can elucidate very rapid onset shifts and changes. So I would never recommend to use this compound at high doses alone. If you're going to do a deep dive, have someone there, have someone present with you. If you're going to go light and go shallow, you are an adult, you are responsible, so you're able to manage and work with this medicine in a responsible way through how we guide you in ceremony. So if you have any questions around the approaches or guidance, please reach out to us. We're very, very humbled and grateful to help you along this path. You can email us at info@thesacredsynthesis.com. Tune into our conclaves where we have previously talked about how to set up ceremony, how to properly create space, work with your energetics, create your safety, tune into safety resources, and we've provided those resources that you can reach out to. There's a couple different organizations that now provide, say, psychedelic check-ins or trip check-ins, where if you're in the experience, that you can tell them that you're going to go into an experience, and they'll check in on you, give them some notice. So just remember that you are the medicine. It's these sacraments help you facilitate the shifts, but you are the medicine. You are the one, you are the activator, the movement, the person that is able to say yes to yourself, say yes to these transformations that you know is possible. And I'll just end with one final thing around safety and around the use of these beautiful sacraments, is that if you find yourself chasing the transformation and not grounding in, see, I'm doing a loop. So you're chasing the transformation and not grounding in. Just take pause. Just take a moment and notice what's going on. If you're living a blissful life, if you're creating art, if you're doing things that mean something and matter to you, by all means, follow your bliss. But if you notice that you're using these things to avoid coping, to avoid hard conversations, just take a pause, slow down, tune in with us. We can help you to get back on track, to lower the threshold and increase your connection to life, to this world. This is a reason why I'm out here in nature, to connect and to provide my services to others, because this is really where the medicine is. This is really where the medicine is. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'm very honored and humbled to be able to come to you while I'm out here in this remote location. And I'm hoping and praying that you get all the transformation and all the medicine that you need in your life. And again, if you need anything, please reach out to us. We honor your safety. We honor your privacy. If you need support and we keep everything under wraps so you're safe along the path. And we honor your feedback. So if there's things that we can do to shift, to improve, to bring forward to you, give us that feedback and we'll be here to offer that. So, and also don't forget or remember that on Sunday, October 5th, is our closure of our 30-day protocol ceremony, and also our monthly light wand and now unity mist. So we're calling it the unity ceremony, with the unity mist and the light wand, and it's going to be exciting. So very looking forward to that. And with that, I will bid you adieu. I love you all, and I wish you the grandest and most amazing rest of your week. And if we don't ever speak again, the rest of your life. Love you.